Is it working? Okay, folks, it seems like we're live. Can you get onto our YouTube page where you can see the channels, the comments, please?
Yeah, it's on.
No, that's, there we go, like that. Folks, so we're live here at Malamale. We are with the island female leopard, who is just behind that bush over there. You can just see her head poking out into the road. I'm going to zoom in a bit there. There she is there. There's a second leopard just over there. That is a Three Rivers female. And you'll see that there are two vehicles in shot here. There's Yaku filming for our YouTube channel. And he's busy with a staff drive. So I'll get back to that in a minute. Let's just watch what these leopards do. Okay.
You guys want me to move a little bit?
Yeah, that would actually be good. Thanks, Yaku. Okay, well there we are. That's a Three Rivers female busy rasping or roaring. And you can see the island female has been displaying quite territorial behavior. She's been scuffing her feet. She's been rubbing her scent all over the grass and on the road there, rolling around. So we are just going to try and observe what happens here and see how this plays out.
Mike boy.
Okay, so this is the island female up here.
Mike, I've just got the message if I can. We did get out the vehicle.
Bruce, can you pass me your phone?
There's no comments that come up here.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is on Rhino Route. We are using them.
Comment hey, you put on the video as well.
Yeah, I've copied my mistake, sorry about that, but to get everybody focused.
Okay, thank you. Okay, folks, so it looks like we're getting some comments in here. I'm just going to get set up a bit better so I can see it. Okay, there we go. Hello everyone. Okay, folks, so we're currently sitting with the island female leopard here. And there is a second leopard in this area. And this is why she's growling. If you listen carefully, you can hear her growling. Someone's asking for a close shot. I'm going to try and zoom in a bit here. It's going to be a bit shaky. I'm doing this off of my cell phone. There we go. I'll try and... Okay, folks, I'm struggling to... Oh, there we go. Focused on her. You can see how alert she is. And she's growling. We are going to keep quiet from time to time just so we can watch this play out. Beautiful animal, we agree, she's very beautiful. Okay. Folks, so if you could hear that, that was the second... Okay, we're just going to watch her there a bit. That was the second leopard that's in this area, known as the Three Rivers female. And the island female is just that behavior that she was showing now, is the leopard that is currently on screen. And she is rolling around, leaving her scent in the grass there. She does not look happy to see or to hear the Three Rivers female so close by. And that was the Three Rivers female rasping, also showing some territorial behavior. So we're just going to sit here and watch to see how this pans out. Okay, I'm going to try and attend to some of your comments in a moment. I'm just going to zoom out a bit. And as soon as these leopards start making a noise or doing something interesting again, we'll keep quiet. Just going to try and get set up here. Yes, this is a real leopard. We know her very well. Her name is the island female. Hello there in the USA. Hi from South Africa. Guys, so just to fill you in, we got two game drives live at the same time. Well, that's good going. We can't even achieve that yet. Okay, let's watch what she does here, and I'll reply to some comments. Okay, folks, you're gonna go just a little bit forward on the road. And see if these leopards come our way. It sounds like the one leopard is headed our way. Here we go. Okay, this is perfect, Abby. Okay. So we're still with the island female. I think we're going to stick with her. She is the older of the two leopards present here. She was born in February 2013. So if someone can do that maths. I can't, maybe you can, Bruce. Let's put you on the...
7 years and 2 months.
Okay, there we go. Okay. So I'm with Bruce Missing here, head ranger at Malo. And he is helping us navigate here while we view this the island female leopard. So she's a particularly large female leopard, and the Three Rivers female is quite a small leopard. It would be nice if they both come into frame. Now leopards are very secretive animals. It's not normal to view leopards like this. For the most part they hide away from people and vehicles, but we have spent a lot of time driving very carefully around these animals, and they've gotten very used to our presence, that they tolerate us, and it's just an amazing experience to be able to watch these natural habits play out in the wild here. So there are two other vehicles with us. For those of you that had joined a bit earlier might have seen a second vehicle next to us. Look at her scuffing her feet there. It's territorial behavior there. She's leaving her scent all over the grass. Bruce, looks like you have something to say there.
I was going to make fun of you saying the play there.
Okay, nothing important.
No, it's very clear, sort of drawing the battle lines, as you put it, with these leopards. You know, this is how they establish their territories. They have physical boundaries, such as rivers, and sometimes, in some cases, not really in the case of leopards, but in other territorial animals like lions, then fences may also play a factor. But these sort of invisible lines that we can't see get drawn through these confrontations that play out. So it's the Three Rivers female. She's 4 years old now, so she is territorial. She's still sort of feeling the waters as far as
okay, hold on, let's just listen.
Territory.
Sorry Bruce, I'm going to interrupt you every now and then, just if I hear her growling.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear that there. Folks, I don't know if you maybe just want to write in the comments there. I don't know if you can hear these leopards growling or rasping.
Seems some people can and some people can't.
Okay.
So I'd say turn your volume up as much as you can on your cell phone or your computer. Obviously there's just that other vehicle moving in the background that might not help, but it won't be very loud, so turn up your volume as much as you can to get the best effect. Just to address William Puerta, we thank you for giving us the feedback on the sound. We are filming by hand on a cell phone. There's no gimbals or anything, so the quality can get a bit shaky from time to time, but we will do our best to keep our steady hand. We've got the steadiest hand in the east here holding the cell phone, so we should be good.
Are those comments coming there, Bruce?
Yeah, they're still very good. It's
Okay.
all just saying hello. So yeah, island female here in front of us. She she doesn't look. She's not displaying the exact behaviour an aggressive leopard would normally do. But what's that lying down and rolling around is also just to leave a scent behind. Most of the communication here is olfactory and vocal. So the roaring and growling you're hearing, that's the leopards telling each other that they are upset with each other's presence. And then the scent marking and rolling around, and that is also drawing these lines of their territory, saying, you know, this is my section and not yours. The those markings also, you know, have subtle messages in as far as the you know, how aggressive that animal is. If it's in the case of females marking for males, males can tell whether the female's an estrus or not. So there's quite a lot of information these animals can get from those scent marking as well. A lot of what's happening is also posturing, the roaring back to each other, and potentially if they get closer they may do sort of lateral displays as far as to see who's the larger or the smaller of the two, before they would actually go into a physical confrontation. Obviously they want to ward off the aggressor, as opposed to physically confront it, to avoid injury. Injury out in the bush can, what would otherwise be a small injury, could prove quite fatal over time. So they don't necessarily want to go straight out and kill each other, but should it get to that, it has been witnessed before. They may very well though get into a physical confrontation if neither leopard backs off eventually. Okay. Where's the Three Rivers female in relation to your vehicle?
She's about 10 to 15 meters south of my vessel, continuing south. Trying to keep up with her through this worry temperature.
So the other leopard, the Three Rivers female, is would essentially be on the left-hand side of the frame, walking from right to left away from this leopard. It's a bit too early to call it now as far as the outcomes of this encounter is concerned, but potentially, you know, she could see that this leopard is far larger and might want to back off to avoid an injury. The island female here does seem to have stopped growling for now, but you know, she may well just go off and mark and come back here. She was roaring a few minutes ago as well, so potentially she's not going to move anywhere. She's just going to continue to scent mark in this area and claim it as her own. Unfortunately, we can't get a close-up of her face. It's a bit too difficult to
sorry guys.
drive in there and drive in there and get around to the front of the leopard. And we're also filming off of a cell phone, so we will, where possible, try and get as up close to her face, a close-up shot. But there's a close-up shot. Gareth gave you a close-up shot himself.
Sorry about that, folks.
So somebody's just asking here if she's pregnant. The island female in front of us here has been viewed with a young cub that would be around the 8-week mark at the moment, about 8 weeks old. We haven't seen that cub though for the last 2 weeks, which, I mean, she has shown signs that she's still lactating, so they will move their dens from time to time. And we assume that she's just moved her den to somewhere where we haven't found it yet. So it could also be interesting if it's unfortunately going to be dark a bit shortly, and we won't be able to follow her for too long if she does go to her den. But if we had to find her, say tomorrow morning, we could follow her, and potentially she could take us to the den. But we let the leopards show us where those dens are. We don't really go out of our way searching for them.
Just tell Yaki to stand by. Okay.
See the three river female in front of us. She's walking towards us. I'm just going to back off and give them a little bit of space.
One vehicle at a time.
Yeah. So to just stand by, please give them some space.
Okay, hold on, that's fine.
Completely out of shot.
Okay, folks, so here comes the Three Rivers female. You can see her walking down the road, so we just had to do a quick maneuver there just to make sure that we're not in these animals' way. It's quite important, obviously. So in a dove. So there's the Three Rivers female, and here is the island female.
Walk parallel to the road.
Okay, so I'm going to move around a bit now just so that you get a view of what's happening. Here comes the Three Rivers female. And I'm just going to pan to the right here. So they are currently about 40 meters apart.
The remarkable scene that's playing out, and to be sharing it live with you is quite amazing. You do get to capture these moments from time to time, but not like this. was just asking what's the length of the eastern boundary. We've got 18 kilometers boundary with the Kruger Park that's unfenced, so these animals can come and go as they please. Unfortunately, we can't, but they move around very freely. We spend a lot of time with these animals from when they're very young, habituating them to the presence of the vehicles. So we will start out by limiting the number of vehicles and the amount of time they can spend with these leopards when they're very young. Same with lions and other young animals. And over time, slowly, we'll spend a little bit more time with them and maybe put a second vehicle. In this case, this was actually 2 separate sightings that merged together, which is why there's the 3. But these leopards have, from very, very early on, grown up around vehicles and are very comfortable around us. They sort of go about their day as naturally as possible without engaging and interacting with the vehicles at all. So we're very much a fly on the wall in this scenario. You'll notice that none of the leopards are looking at us or paying any attention to us. They're walking around. They're not shying away from us at all. So it's a true privilege to be able to sit as well and watch these scenes play out as they would as if we weren't here at all. She's the older of the 2. She's gone past 7 years now in February. And the 3 rivers female in front of the vehicle.
So,
I'm sure you can see the vehicle there. So absolutely no interest in us whatsoever. Far more concerned about this other leopard here than she is about us. So this is, somebody was just asked an interesting question about who's in whose territory here. We're actually on the boundary really of these 2 female leopards' territories. The island female behind us, behind her is her territory really. To the east of this position is the Sand River, and she comes just west of the Sand River. The 3 rivers female, the other leopard, she's the one that spends the majority of her time in this area. Never going too far east of here, but being a younger leopard and still establishing her territory, she does tend to explore all sorts of areas as well. So this is a sort of encounter that will potentially solidify the sort of eastern boundary of her territory. Having now run into this island female, she could potentially have an unfavorable encounter with her and decide that it's not worth going any further east from here. So this is, how her territory will play out.
okay, so folks, I'm just going to try and get into a better position here. Excuse the wobble. Okay, so I just want to point out where the 3 rivers female is. The 3 rivers female has walked to exactly where the island female has just come from, and she has scraped right on top of where the island female has just scraped. Okay, let's turn off the volume.
wildlife fans, you would have watched documentaries whereby you see what is essentially a highlights reel over several years while they're filming these documentaries, where this was something you'd see there. You'd just see the confrontation, if there ever was one, physical confrontation, a fight. But in reality, these scenes take a very long time to play out, and sometimes don't go into into a physical confrontation. They'll just growl at each other and posture at each other for a while, and then go their separate ways. In my experience, I have seen this happen with two male leopards for a period of 3 days. They just followed each other around, and they constantly were displaying at each other, but never once did they actually physically fight and sort of bite or scratch each other. So this can take some time, but these leopards are very close. It's not, the outcomes haven't been decided yet. We'll have to just see what happens. So yeah, the leopard, just for those that have joined us, the leopard in shot at the moment is the island female. She's a 7-year-old female leopard on Mala Mala.
Stand by.
Lions roaring.
Fact say, I just cut Bruce off there quite rudely, but I will do that from time to time. There were some lions roaring directly north of this cat that we see in screen here. We are facing north, so essentially in the background of here. We're not sure who it is, but the two vehicles that are with us here, it looks like the one may go and follow up on those lions roaring. We are going to stay live with these leopards and just see what plays out here. Sorry, Bruce, I cut you off there.
No worries, I
but
have forgotten exactly what I was saying. There's a question here, it's one of my favorite questions that I get, or at least not so much the question, but the answer. Somebody's asked, how often do they kill? And my favorite answer for that tends to irritate people a bit, but is that they do so when they're hungry and when they can. Unlike humans, where we have established meal times that's more cultural than anything else, these animals, they collect resources when they need to and as often as they can. So it depends very much on what last she ate. So if she ate a scrub here this morning, then she'll hunt this evening. So I'm just going to wait for the vehicle to pass. Don't go between the two. Rather go around. So another question here is the road used as a boundary. It can be. So a lot of these boundaries, as I was saying earlier, they are physical boundaries such as rivers. But being the end of the wet season, all the grass is long, leopards use the roads is for the same reason we do, the path of least resistance. So they will often scent mark and do their territorial patrols along these established roads, purely for the ease of walking along them, and they can influence then the size and shape of the territories. So not normally they obviously, if these roads didn't exist, they wouldn't be patrolling along them and they wouldn't be scent marking along them. Perhaps they would be game trails. A lot of our roads are game trails that we've just made into roads. So that's also one of the reasons we do see a lot of traffic from the animals on the roads. But yeah, it's not always the case, but they will take advantage of the fact there's roads around now.
I'm currently heading north on the extension from the Giraffe. Well,
So on the question of the food, I see there's some prey walked into the road now. Would they chase it? They sometimes would do, but it depends on where it would walk out. If it came right in front of this leopard, then maybe she might go for it, but she's a little bit preoccupied with the presence of this other leopard. Food is not very high up her agenda at the moment. But say if there was no other leopards around here and she was just sitting in the grass and something walked within sort of, let's call it 10 meters or 30 feet or so from her, she would start stalking.
Audio's always been live, just the video cut off.
Thanks. So you've just heard what we've been talking about. We are back live now. Yeah, we're sorting out some teething problems on our side. And yeah, we're just trying to be sensitive around these animals. And yeah, so we've decided to give them some space. And we are just going to film this live here. Okay, all good. Thanks, the dove. So we're just going to film this live here, and the other two vehicles are going to go and look for those lions.
Do you want me to try and reposition to get the other leopard in?
I think we're good for now. So let's see some of those comments there.
We can answer some questions now. It seems that there's a bit of a lull in the cycle.
Just a bit of an echo. Okay, thanks, Nadav. So I just want to shout out to Nadav there, who is helping us get live here. And as you can see, we are not technically minded at all.
This is,
These are rangers not working out of our natural habitat online. So please excuse us. I hope we didn't say anything too. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So let's just watch them live for now and just appreciate what's going to happen here.
Just to give some context to what's going on, there's a couple of people I see who've just joined again, and maybe some new folks, but there's two leopards in this area. The one that's in shot at the moment is a 7-year-old female named the Island female. And then to the left of the shot, there's a 4-year-old female leopard called the Three Rivers female. We are sitting on pretty much the boundary of their territories, the eastern boundary of the Three Rivers female and the western boundary of the Island female. And they are just busy discussing amongst themselves who's going to be the subordinate and back off. My money's on the Three Rivers female.
5-5, next 5-1.
Wow, that sounds like there's a third leopard in the fray here.
Yeah, there's a third leopard now that's just started roaring to the north of us. These encounters as well, there's a lot of it has been a roaring and sort of growling at each other, and that can potentially attract other leopards into the area, most likely another male leopard. So things are heating up a little bit here, so let's see what plays out. So we're very fortunate on Malamala to have one of the highest leopard densities recorded in at least in Africa, and one of the highest in the world.
Okay, let's just watch for it.
So this island female walking towards the area of where we heard the third leopard roaring. Didn't get a chance to see if she's got suckle marks though.
So folks, there's lots happening around us here now. There are baboons that are barking down at West Street Bridge. There's lions roaring to our north. There's impalas snorting to our south. There's a leopard rasping or roaring to our south. And we've got these two leopards in front of us here that are having a standoff.
It seems all the predators in the greater Kruger have decided to have a conference here.
Yeah.
Yaku's a lot of the things barking in Western Desert at the moment.
Hey Sheila, my auntie. So Sheila, I can't see the comments right now. Bruce is handling those. I'm behind the camera, so he doesn't know that you're my auntie. But Sheila Grobla is my auntie. And yeah, just a shout out to you. Nice to have you online. Folks, I don't know if you can hear that, but there was a second leopard to respond to her rasping there. And it's not the Three Rivers female who's also in this area. The Three Rivers female is just behind this bush here somewhere. We're not going to move around too much. We're just going to stick with the island female for now and see how this plays out. It would be curious to see who this third leopard is. Bruce, I don't know if you have any guesses as to who you think it might be.
I'd purely be guessing, but it's maybe a male leopard in this area. I don't know. There's quite a few options. This is quite an interesting spot where we are, where there's an overlap of sometimes two males, different males that we see in this area, and then this is once again the boundary of two females. So there's obviously the option of 4 different leopards. We can confirm 2 of them. So it could be the Maxim's male, the male leopard that recently established his territory on Mala Mala. Although he does tend to stick closer to the river, doesn't really venture as far away from the river as where we're hearing the roaring. It could also be the Inyatini male, who we have seen along this. There's a road called it's just a little bit further to our west, and then goes into our neighbour's property. Haven't seen him for a while, but it could potentially be him. I'll throw a curveball in there and say that it could also be the Senegal bushmale. It's once again a leopard that was very well established on Mala Mala for a time and now has moved further west. Could potentially be coming back this way now that he's heard all of this
commotion. Yeah. So I think, Bruce, I think we should stick with the island female. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. She's well, she's my favourite leopard, so I would always vote for her anyway.
Okay.
But she's walking. There's been a call and answer from her and the other leopard that is roaring to the south of us, which we haven't identified yet. So yeah, let's see what she does. It seems that the interaction between her and the Three Rivers female behind us may have just subsided for now. Potentially they may have, the smaller Three Rivers female may have decided to move off and not to challenge the much larger, older island female. This was a portion of the island female's territory at one time. I have seen her here before, but she doesn't really utilize this area as much anymore. Look at that scent marking there. She'll rub her face up in there and leave as much of her scent behind. She also will urinate on some of these bushes to leave it in. Alright, so I'm gonna try and stick with her a little bit closer. We are filming off of a cell phone, so probably quite a wide shot you've got there, but without having any influence on the sighting, we'll try and stick as close as possible the island female over here.
Okay, so we are testing YouTube to see what works better between YouTube and Facebook. We currently can't see your comments on the screen while we're filming, so it takes two of us to see all of your comments. So Bruce has got his phone running, watching the comments while I'm filming, and yeah, so if you see that we aren't replying to comments, we've got a lot to consider here. We've got two leopards in the area. We also have to be very cognizant of where they are and how they're behaving.
That leopard is now roaring from directly west of the position of the island female over here. She doesn't usually go much further west of here, so potentially we'll walk up and down the road as opposed to move closer to that other leopard. Look at this, now she's going to walk past us. So special.
So you can hear Franklin alarm calling there. She's just been listening to that. That's probably that other leopard that's headed this way. See, she's smelling the Three Rivers female. The Three Rivers, if you were with us earlier, you would have seen the Three Rivers female scent mark there. And oops. So so she's scent marking right on top of where the Three Rivers female scent marked earlier. See that alarm calling impala? You can actually hear from the animals that that other leopard is getting a bit closer. That snorting sound you hear is an impala alarm calling. It's very likely that that impala can actually hear.
Another call and answer from the leopard to the west here. It sounds to be getting a little bit closer. So, yeah, still island female responding to those calls, not relinquishing a foot of their territory here to whoever the other leopard may be. Let's try and keep up with that. when we're driving with these animals as well, we're constantly assessing their body language, looking at making sure she's obviously not reacting at all to the vehicle, but where she was walking there and she stopped to turn, we would then stop to just see what's the reason why she's looking in that direction, and what is she maybe listening to, or what can she see, and that will give us a little bit more insight as to what's really going on in this area. Our eyesight is very limited here because of the season. It's very bushy and very thick, so we can't see what other leopard might be around here, but obviously can hear. She's got much better hearing than we do, so we'll use her senses a little bit and, like I say, try and read her body language to see what's going on. It'll give us a little bit more insight. Once again, she's turned again to look into the direction of where there's some impala alarm calling in the distance. That's also giving her an idea of where this other leopard might be. See one of our older rangers, Brendan Cole, responding here saying Pat is coming. Brendan Cole living in the past here. Pat was the Princess Alice Pan's male, was the dominant male of this area at one stage. long ago.
Brendan, we are close to Princess Alice Pan's. You can probably see the road we're on. Does he recognize it, Bruce?
Let's see. BC, do you know if you can name the position of this leopard? I don't know, I'll buy you a couple of beers. So I don't want to start the vehicle just yet to get closer while she's listening. Just let her listen to what's going on. There we go, now she's moving, so we'll start moving as well.
Folks, so every road here at Mala Mala has a name, and it helps us first of all read each other in. So if there is an animal that is found, we can tell other rangers on our radio, which is just over there, where that animal is found, and we are able to do so in a very short sentence. But it means that we have to learn every single road on this property, and there are many roads. This particular road's name is, and we're waiting for BC to get back to us.
We'll give it 5 minutes. If Brendan doesn't answer, then he owes us beers.
Yeah.
But somebody's just asked, have we named the new skittish male?
Okay, stand by.
We will wait to see. We name our leopards based on an area where they established their first territory on Mala Mala, be it a young or an old leopard. So we actually we haven't really had a good sighting of that skittish male to even know where he would normally occur. So we'll give it some time, let him get comfortable on the property, start scent marking, start establishing himself, and then we'll give him a name. Somebody's just asked if there are black leopards on our game reserve. Unfortunately not.
Wow, that would be cool, eh?
That would be amazing. There have been well, not necessarily documented sightings, but stories of black leopards in South Africa before. There's a small population of leopards in the Cape, and I actually did some work in that area and did some research on those leopards, and in the time that I was doing that work, there were reports from farmers of a black leopard in one area. I have heard stories as well as the mountain ranges to the west of where Mala Mala is, stories of leopards there, as well as a strawberry leopard, which is a leopard with a sort of slightly pink red coloration. And then in an area called the Magaliesberg, which is on the sort of more western parts of the country, West of Johannesburg and Pretoria, northwest of Johannesburg and Pretoria, there's has been reports of black leopards.
Okay, wait. Here we go. Nadav has just sent me a private message here that did manage to pop up on my screen. Brendan Cole has given us the name of this road. Okay, so I'm just going to keep quiet for a second. Okay, Bruce, do you want to find... No, that private message from Nadav has gone off of my screen. Maybe Bruce can find what Brendan says, where we are right now. Well done. Maybe if I'm just scared I do something wrong here while I'm streaming live. Okay, here we go. I've got it. Skakuza Road, north of the shortcut to Princess Alice Pans.
Well done.
Black label, please. That's good going, Brendan. Well done. Folks, yeah, that's pretty good going. Just behind that leopard is another road going west. So we are currently facing south. Let me just... Okay, just behind it there.
Okay, hold on. It seems like something's playing out here.
Okay, I'm just going to stand by for it.
To growl, and she's intently looking in this direction to the right of our vehicle here. Well, we're going to just shut up for a minute.
Yeah.
See what
I think Bruce is telling me to shut up for a minute there.
Oh, so the last roar that the island female had now, there was no response, which left her looking a little bit perplexed, but now she seems to be a little bit more intent on what's going on.
There is something in these bushes here. I can hear it.
Let me to reverse a little bit.
I think let's stand by here for now.
So the body language of the island female just changing significantly there. See how she's focused on one spot, also salivating. Very clear sign that she knows there's another leopard around here and she's getting aggressive. Let's see. Go back to the questions here.
Okay, so Bruce is going to attend to those questions. Well done, Brendan. That was good going. So that road just behind the island female is a shortcut to Princess Alice Pans. And we are currently on Skakuza Road, so we're currently north of the shortcut to track to Princess Alice Pans.
So somebody asked us if she's not afraid of a lion. She is very much afraid of lions. But what's played out so far is that we've been hearing this leopard in front of us roaring. She had an encounter with another leopard earlier on, the Three Rivers female, which seems to have tailed off now. But then just as that sighting, that encounter ended, another leopard started roaring some ways away from this leopard. And now she's walked towards where that third leopard was roaring from. So she's not too worried about lions yet, although we have heard lions roaring not too far away from here, but I don't suspect. I see another leopard in the road behind us, quite a ways off there, but
that's where the Three Rivers female was.
Maybe the Three Rivers female, island female staring in that direction.
So Brendan, when last were you surrounded by 3 leopards? So leopards are typically solitary cats. So to have 3 in such close proximity, Bruce, she's coming by you.
Inside. She's not too concerned about me, she probably would still just walk past.
Okay, so we are going to just drive away from her in order to turn around, and then we will get back to it. What's my question? Can't read. So you're gonna have to when we stop. Bruce? Folks, so we're going to turn around. We're just going to keep the questions aside for now.
My phone is also about to die.
Yeah, and Bruce's phone's about to die. But we're going to try and stick with them for a little while longer. She is. She's back in the road, just in front of us. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna have to go. I'm gonna just cut this feed for a second, and we'll be back with you guys shortly. Please don't go anywhere. It'll literally take a minute, and we'll be back. Okay, folks, so hopefully we're back up live now. I think we are. We'll give it a second there. Are we live again?
I'm not sure. Yeah, we are.
Okay, folks, so we're back live here. We've just followed the island female back down the road. Okay, thank you. So I've got a message here that you can hardly hear Bruce. So Bruce, you need to speak up. I'll try and hold the phone a little bit closer to Bruce as well.
Alright. So, yeah, so we saw a few minutes ago another leopard walking across the road up ahead here. The island female is now walking in that direction. There has been a bit of roaring back and forth between her and this other leopard, or another leopard. We potentially think there may be as many as 3 in the area. So we still are trying to figure out exactly what's going on. We're just letting her we're following the island female and sort of seeing her perspective of things. Hopefully we'll find out who the other leopards are shortly.
Whoops, sorry.
So this is roughly where we saw the other leopard crossing the road a few minutes ago. The island female here also just trying to figure out what's going on. Stop now and listening. Carrying on. Those ears are now perked up and she seems to be concentrating. Oh no. Change that story. Sounds like some lions have been found as well. Nice, busy game drive. We've got all of our staff that have been looking after us behind the scenes. We've taken them all out on game drives and they've had a pretty magical afternoon with 2 leopards and now some lions, elephants, all sorts of things. So Mala Mala doesn't disappoint even if you just work here.
Stand by. Okay, so you see she's salivating there again.
So we've heard the third leopard now roaring behind us to our left. The island female, I think she's just marking over where the Three Rivers female was marking earlier.
Just while we parked here, there's some evidence of the Three Rivers female, so she certainly left her scent here as well.
Thought that was you, that smells like that. So I just see there's a message now from the admin page that anybody watching this, follow the Kruger Sightings YouTube page and turn on your notifications for them, and you'll get updates when we go live. There, I see another leopard behind us.
Okay, I'm going to turn around slowly.
It does look like a female leopard.
Yeah, there we go, in the road. Oh, what is going on here? Do you think that is the Three Rivers female again?
Potentially. Where the other leopard is
Yeah, all we know is that there's many leopards here right now.
Just also a little plug for all of you that are fans of Mala Mala. If you go onto the Mala Mala YouTube page, we are busy with a series called Rangers in Isolation, and that's just a daily video or two of what we get up to. Not just sightings, but also some of the behind the scenes stuff of how game reserves work, really. We are all closed down here at Mala Mala. We don't have any guests due to the coronavirus. The whole of South Africa is on lockdown at the moment. So, you know, we are all stuck here on the reserve, not able to leave and not able to have anybody else come in. So, a rare privilege, I believe, that I'm sure lots of people would jump at the opportunity to have. So, it's a privilege of ours to share this with you as well, these animals, while you are all stuck at home. Seems the other leopard that's further down the road here is moving away. Island female not breaking her view of that leopard. Now she's going back to scent marking. Other leopards also just sniffing where the island female was marking a few minutes ago. Really a bit of a back and forth here. We're going to try and follow. Getting a little bit late.
Yeah.
Dark. Let's go and just poke our heads in there. We'll see if we can get a view of the island female. Otherwise, we'll go and try and see what that other leopard is up to.
Yeah, thanks. We're going to just have a quick look, see how thick it is in here. And see if it's easy to follow her. If it's not, then we'll try and follow up on the second leopard down the road. but it is quite thick in there. We'll just loop around and see if we can catch a glimpse of her from this openish area in front of us here. Yeah, so I can't see all your comments right now, but it's lovely to have you all with us here. Okay.
So I'm going to actually go back to the road. This area is both thick and boggy,
Okay,
and it's getting late, and I don't feel like digging a Land Rover out of a hole at this hour.
So Bruce, got a message here. I'm your Uncle Stuart's good friend.
I saw Uncle Stuart, you was viewing earlier. How are you doing, Uncle Stuart? I hope you're all well down in Durban.
I'm not sure, look, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to get back to that message. Sorry folks, we are multitasking here again. There might have been another name in there as well, but we'll get back to you in a second. So you're going to have a look and see if we can catch a glimpse of the second leopard here. It was Mark. Thank you, Nadav. Nadav is helping us a lot here. Mark, a good friend of your Uncle Stuart, Bruce.
How are you doing, Mark?
Mark de Chalaine. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Bruce says
I haven't met Mark, but I've heard many good stories about you, Mark.
Excellent.
I'm sure all of them are live.
Nadav, again, thank you so much for your help. I don't know if we're getting any better at this, but we'll keep on trying. It seems like people
do.
do.
It's not like we can get worse.
Well, at least we hope. But yeah, you can see Bruce has just turned the lights on, and he has also just spotted the second leopard here. So we're just going to see who this is.
Looks like it's our Three Rivers female.
Okay, and she is also looking into the bush where the island female was looking. So there's still a high likelihood that there is a third leopard in the area here. And if we were to guess, I know Bruce has already said Maxim's male, my guess could...
Island female?
I think I agree with Bruce. I think it's the Maxim's male that's hiding in the bush here.
So with a bit of a backstory with the Three Rivers female here, I've been very fortunate that she was the first leopard cub that I saw on Mala Mala when I started working here, and I've been able to follow her from sort of day one, really, when she was first discovered in 2016, with her and her brother and the mother, the Kikalezi female. And she, at just over a year old, her mother was killed by some lions, the Avoca males, who have since moved off to the southern parts of the property. And 1 year for a female leopard is about sort of the youngest they can really be orphaned and potentially survive. And she moved off, well, she stayed around the main camp a lot for quite a while, and then slowly moved away from there. We don't know what happened to her brother, but it was interesting watching her as a 1-year-old leopard sort of start to make her first kills and learn some of the hard lessons of being a leopard out here with the lions and hyenas around. And it's always been quite dramatic being around her, and it's been quite interesting though watching that whole process play out of a leopard going from birth to establishing its first territory. And I'm sure she's had other altercations in her time with other leopards, but this is the first time I've seen her having an altercation. I'm very proud to watch her stand her ground against the big old island female. So hopefully that means for us that the Three Rivers female is becoming more established in this area, and we'll get to see a lot more of her. Hopefully then also that she'll have some cubs. Being around 4 years old, it's when she's at her most comfortable, and having established that territory, she would start looking at potentially mating and having cubs from this age.
Like I said, it's starting to get quite dark here. It's a lot darker than what it looks like on my screen. But when it does get too dark, we are going to leave these leopards.
Yeah, a spectacular afternoon sitting with these leopards, I'm sure you'll all agree. Not only just being able to share a live leopard sighting with you all, but one so dramatic where there's the constant back and forth between two leopards roaring and posturing at each other. And then, as I said, the story playing out of this young leopard now, the Three Rivers female, becoming a lot more established in this area and standing up to some of her larger adversaries around her. And see if I can get the headlights onto the leopard. Unfortunately, with these cell phones, if I put a spotlight on her, it's just going to blow out and you won't actually see the leopard. So hopefully the headlights work a little bit better, but we are slowly coming to the end of the sighting. We may very well come back here tomorrow morning to see what has happened. These encounters can play out over a day or two. The two leopards only came together today, so they may very well just posture and roar and growl at each other for a while, and very possible that tomorrow morning they could still be in the area.
So David, just saying thank you to the Mala Mala guys for this live stream. David, thank you very much. We appreciate your support, and we're glad you're enjoying it. And that's to everybody that's enjoyed this live stream. We are in an incredibly fortunate position to film or to be on this property under these conditions, and yeah, I think it's just nice to be able to share it with all of you back at home in your various countries. We're having a lot of fun here, and if you want to see what we are up to other than in the live streams, you can go to our Rangers in Isolation series, which is on YouTube. Just go into any of Mala Mala Media and look for our YouTube page, and you will see our Rangers in Isolation series, and you'll see what we have been doing. There are more polished cuts of sightings, some guided drives, some behind the scenes stuff, but yeah, please go have a look at our pages. Some interesting stuff there. Brendan, Cole, thank you gents, fantastic what you guys are bringing to us. I can't read the whole message there. Brendan, thank you. I'm very impressed that you knew what road we are on. Yeah.
So interestingly, just to finish off, this Three Rivers female has just walked down the road that we saw the island female on a few minutes ago, and has gone to every single spot that she scent marked over that. So she's not relinquishing her territory either to the island female. So there's definitely this encounter does not seem to have a decisive victor. So like I said, it would be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow morning, and we'll come out here first thing tomorrow morning and have a look, and then maybe if there is still something going on here, we'll try and do another live stream. Otherwise, If that's not possible, we will see what we can film with our cameras, and then you'll see it on our Ranges in Isolation series as well. So yeah, stay tuned to all of our social media pages, the Mala Mala Instagram and YouTube page, and that will give you more details. My name's Bruce Missing. I'm on Instagram. Behind me, I'm behind the camera here, is 66GVR, Gareth van Rooyen.
Cheers, guys.
But yeah, keep in touch and stay safe out there, stay sane. If this is helping you stay sane, well, we're very glad to be assisting in that manner. But yeah, from all of us at Mala Mala, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. And then just one last shout out to Dan Bailey, who recently won. DB, I don't know if you're watching this, but Dan Bailey is one of the rangers here. Unfortunately, he was not on the property while we were in lockdown. He was great on social media and with this tech that we were busy trying to sort out the site. But he won the Rangers photographic competition. So if you want to see those photos, go onto Instagram, our Instagram page, and well done to you, Dan. It's a pretty incredible photo. Yeah, go check it out. Cheers from Mala Mala. Nadav, again, thank you so much for your help. Cheers.